Hello, my name is Steve Orth, and I am going to read to you something I wrote in this book called Cyborg Legs. Matthew Arnone did the cover, and OMG Press put it out. And what it's about, it's like it's very short. It's about 20 pages, and it's about this guy who's like a grocer and a poet. So like most of the time he's working at a grocery store as a cashier, and then the rest of the time he's a poet. And during the piece, which is like a 4-day saga of his life, it's like he writes this poem called Cyborg Legs, and it sort of just changes his life, but not really at all. I hope that kind of makes sense and doesn't give too much away. So this is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read day one of this young man's, or middle-aged man, I don't even really know how old he is. I'm gonna read day one of his life, his story. I turn the switch to the left. This makes the light blink. A man sees the blinking light and walks towards me. He sets a green plastic basket to my left. I turn the switch to the right. This makes the light stop blinking but remain illuminated. I stare inside his basket. It's full of groceries, pork chops, a bottle of wine, a box of tea, some apples, some Brussels sprouts. I gaze at them. Then I look at the man who's brought them to me. He's a tall man, about mid-40s, wearing a gray suit that is one size too big for him. This man is my first customer of the day. Hello, I say. Hi, says the customer. Am I on the wrong side? No, you're on the right side. You've done everything perfectly. I'm simply saying hello. Okay. I unload the customer's basket, each item one by one, very slowly. After I unload everything, I begin scanning them one by one. As I scan, I ask him, "Did you find everything you were looking for today?" There is no reply. The customer is looking at his phone. I shrug and continue scanning barcodes. If an item has no barcode, there's nothing to scan. If you've ever seen a cucumber, you might have noticed that it has no barcode. So for these particular items, like cucumbers, I enter in a 5-digit code. Each piece of fruit or vegetable has a 5-digit code assigned to it. The code for cucumber is 94062. After scanning each item, I ask the customer, "Would you like a bag?" The customer says yes. I recommend a double bag to him. The products that he's purchasing might be a little too heavy for a single bag. A double bag will provide the proper support that they need. A single bag, in my opinion, would be too flimsy. After a short internal debate, the customer agrees to a double bag. So for a double bag, this is what I do. I first take out one bag and I open it up, like I shake it out and it's like ready, it's a bag. And then I take out a second bag and I put my hand and my arm all the way through it to the fingertips are reaching the top of it. And then I take that and I put that into the bag that I've already made and I spread it all out. And that's how you construct a single bag. After I've made the double bag, I say to my customer, "Okay, it'll be $42.86. The customer slides the card down a card reading device. As he does this, I begin placing his items into the double bag. I begin with the bottle of wine because it's the heaviest. It says waiting for cashier, says the customer. He's telling me what the credit card reader is telling him. Oh, sorry about that. Let me hit my little button here. I hit my little button that says credit debit on my touchscreen register. Is it working now, I ask? The customer says nothing. So I assume everything is working fine. I pack all of his items into the double bag, and I place the double bag on the counter. A receipt prints out letting me know that the transaction is now complete. I hand this receipt to the customer. Have a great day, I say to him. I emphasize the word great. The customer, still looking at his phone, grabs the double bag and walks away. I take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. I look down at my hands and watch as they tremble slightly. I turn the switch to the left and this makes the light blink. I average 41.2 customers per hour at 14.8 items scanned per minute. I do this work for 2 hours, and then it's time for a 10-minute break. I remove my apron and walk outside, where I drink some coffee, smoke a cigarette, and look at my phone. This break takes 15 minutes. At the conclusion of this break, I quietly return to my register. I sign back in, I turn the switch to the left and cashier for the next 2 hours until my next break, which is a 45-minute unpaid lunch break. On my lunch break, I clock out, and then I grab my backpack and leave the store. I walk 2 blocks to this micro park. I sit on the ground with my back against this one particular tree. I want to say it's a birch tree, but that's really just a guess. It has big scars all over its bark where some limbs must have been cut off. The scars looking like carvings of eyes. There are over 20 eyes on my favorite tree. I smoke a cigarette, and then I eat some pistachio nuts, salami, a little bread, and a cookie. I write a quick, forgettable poem about giving CPR to a zebra. I smoke another cigarette and stare at the blades of grass. Then I gather my belongings and walk back to the grocery store. My 45-minute lunch break takes 55 minutes. When I return to the store, I clock in and go back to my register. I turn the switch to the left and cashier for 2 hours. Then I take another 15-minute, 10-minute break. Then I cashier for 2 more hours. I clock out at 8 p.m. After clocking out, I buy a 24-ounce can of Pabst Blue Ribbon. It costs $1.64 after my discount. I also grab a small brown bag, a 20-ounce coffee cup, and a lid. I leave the grocery store and I cross the street. Once I'm across the street, I place the beer into the small brown bag and then open the beer. I drink the beer as I walk towards the train station. This walk takes about 15 minutes. I finish the beer about half a block away from the train station. Then I stop at a liquor store and buy another 24-ounce can of Pabst Blue Ribbon. I step up the main street and drink from the new beer. Once I've finished 4 to 5 ounces of the new beer, I pour the remaining beer into the coffee cup and fasten the lid. And then I walk into the train station, take the train back to my apartment in Oakland, where I drink more beer and order Chinese food.